I'm Gaganveer Singh, and in this video I am going to demonstrate for my task 2.1p design and prototype of full stack development secure backend services. The task was to create a minimal web API in C# using the domain driven design approach and using the reference from previous task of POC. To complete this task, I have Postman configured for testing the different endpoints of the application. I have set up an environment named local, which defines the API host and the port number my application is running on, which is 5287. I have also made a collection named SIT331, which has all the endpoints that I am going to use in this web application. The first request is the test, which simply returns the hello robot. The second request is the robot commands, which returns all the commands in the command database, which is a list which have four default commands: left, right, move, and place. The next command is move commands, which returns the commands which are movable, like the commands which have the flag is move command set to true. The next is the read command. This endpoint returns the robot command specified by the ID. If the ID is present in the command database, it returns it with the OK command, the 200 status code, and if it is not, it will return not found with the message command with ID not found. As there is only 4 commands in the command database, adding an ID like 8 would return 404 not found status with the message. If the ID is present in the command database, it will return that command. The next is the post method, which allows us to create a new robot command. This endpoint auto-assigns the new ID to the command based on the number of commands present in the commands database, ensuring that the new ID is always one greater than the current count of the commands. After successfully adding the command to the command database, it returns 201 created status code. Testing it by adding a command backward with the move set to true. It returns a 201 created status code. Now let's check if it has been added to the database. It has been successfully added to the database. Now let's check the move commands. The next is the update robot command request. In this request, we update the robot command by the ID specified by the user. It first finds the index of the command in the command database by the ID specified, and if it is present in the database, it updates only that field that is explicitly provided by the user and returns an OK response. If the command is not present, then it returns not found status code. Testing it with an ID that is not present in the command database, it returns an 404 not found status code. For the ID present, it returns 200 OK status code. Now let's check if the robot command has been updated successfully or not for ID 5. It was initially backward. Now it has been changed to jump, and isMove command is also set to false. The next is the read robot map request. In this request, return the robot map size. If the size is null, that it has not been updated yet, it returns the not found status code with the message map size not initialized. And if it is initialized, it returns the map size with the OK response. The next is the read coordinate request. In this request, we return true or false based on the coordinates specified by the user. If the map size has not been initialized yet and the user tries to send a request, it sends a not found message. And if the coordinate is null, that it has been not specified, it also returns bad request. If the coordinate is provided correctly, it breaks into strings and passes it into int and uses the check location function, which checks based on the size of the map and returns the message. If the size is not on the map, it returns not found with the message coordinate not found on the map. Next request is the update map size. In this both method, we update the size of the map. If the size is in the range of 200, it updates the size. If it is not, a bad request message is sent with the invalid map size message. Now let's test this method by adding a size greater than 100. It returns invalid map size message and a 400 bad request status code. Also for a map size lesser than 2, it returns 400 bad request invalid map size message. But adding a map size between 2 and 100, it updates the map and returns 200 OK status code. Now let's test the read coordinate request as the map size has been initialized. Adding a coordinate that is not present on the map returns the message coordinate not found on map. But if the coordinate is between the size of map, it returns true. Also, sending a coordinate in invalid format, it returns invalid coordinate format. Now let's test the read robot map request. As the size has been initialized to 10, it will return 10. Now let's test it by changing the size to 20.